People always ask me who my biggest musical influence is. Well, I recorded this video as a live stream on my second channel while I was home visiting my family in Rochester this past week. It's with my Aunt Penny, my mom's youngest sister. What you won't know from watching it is that my Aunt Penny is a 50-year MS survivor and one of the most amazing people you'll ever meet. I hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, I expect you all to be on your best behavior because I'm sitting here with my Aunt Penny. Say hi to Aunt Penny.
Hi, everybody.
This is live. Yes, this is live.
This is really live.
This is actually live. We're sitting at Aunt Penny's house at her piano, and I said my biggest musical influence. Aunt Penny used to take me, actually my mom would call her up. You can tell the story, Aunt Penny.
Well, I was teaching at the time. He was probably 3 or 4 years old. And my sister, his mother, would call me and say, "He's driving me crazy. Would you come and get him?"
Does that sound surprising?
No. She really was. No, I just loved having him, and she knew I would love having him. And we had so much fun together. We did. We did a lot of music together. When he went in his very, very early years.
That's right.
He was exposed to a lot of music in our family always. Music was a very huge part of our life.
Yes.
And I'm talking about a long time ago now, probably much longer than most of you were around.
That's right.
But there was a time before all of this craziness.
There's a time before where you couldn't just get on and talk to people anywhere in the world like this, like we're doing now.
I was telling Rick today, my sister who was in college in the the 40s, and how we communicated. She made one phone call home during the 4 years she was in college, because every night my mother would sit down with a pen and a piece of paper, and they would write a little note to each other. And Virginia, my sister, she kept all the notes, and later on my niece, my brother's daughter, compiled a book of those years when she was in college, and it was
during
amazing.
The war too.
It was during the war. It was during the time we had stamps for food. You could only have, when you were going to the store, you were given like a ticket. You could only buy 3 bananas, and I don't know what. I don't remember. I was young, so at that point. But I do remember hearing about it, and life has become quite. Well, I think for me, it's so complicated, but at the same time, it's wonderful the progress that's been made through the years. We have to be very grateful. We live in a great country, and we've been offered a lot of opportunities here to grow and to learn and have Rick do what he did with his career. I'm so proud of him, and now he's sharing all of that wonderful knowledge with all of you.
And Aunt Penny gets on. You'll see her on live streams. She will comment, and sometimes you don't comment. You just watch, right?
I just watch.
So we're sitting at Aunt Penny's piano. She says she hasn't played much lately, right, Aunt Penny?
Right.
But maybe you can play something now. So that was fantastic. So Aunt Penny would always improvise. I've told this story before, but I never realized it until I learned to read music, that Aunt Penny never I would look at the music and said, Aunt Penny, you're not reading what's on there. And can you explain that, Aunt Penny?
That's
How
right.
you harmonize things?
No, I fill in.
You fill in where
And
there's
fill out.
when it's when you need.
When it gets boring.
I mean, but how did you know how to do that though? Just use your ear, right?
Well, you know, I started taking piano lessons in the 2nd grade, and I had an interesting teacher. I would quit at the end of every lesson. I said, I can't do this anymore. I was what, 6, 7 years old, and I said, I don't like this. I didn't like what I was doing. It didn't sound like I wanted it to sound. So she said, well, if you decide to come back next week, I want you to do this, this, and this. And so then I'd go home and I'd think, I'm not going back. I would announce, I'm not going back. And then I would look at the book, and I had a sister 4 years older who said, you better go back because I want you to play this duet with me for the recital. I said, I can't do that. She said, yes, you can. And that's how and that's how we went. But at the end of every lesson, I quit, and the teacher said, fine. And it just allowed me to have a little more control, I think, of what I felt like I wanted to do, but it sounded too boring at the time. I wanted to play a song. But it worked out for me, I guess. I think starting young, it's just a part of my life, and why I mean. But
when you're harmonizing a melody, Aunt Penny, and you're thinking about this, about what chords to play where, when you were just playing that, I mean, how do you decide where you want to go?
I'm trying to think of how I decide. Well, I know where the sound's coming from. I know what has to go. I know there's a V minor, and there's an E minor 7 and a G and V flat. I mean, I know what they sound like. I work them in.
But you're playing by ear though too, right?
I'm reading.
You're reading?
I'm half reading and half ear.
Improvising.
Yeah. They'd have to see it to understand it, I guess. It's just a feeling in my being. Now, where does that come from? From my heart and from my ears. And it's just it's part of who I am. I started very young, and it's just I don't leave home without it. I don't. It goes with me. It fills my day. It does. It keeps me.
And tell everyone how important music was in our family.
How important music was in our family and continues to be, music is. I just was talking to a friend of mine from high school who pointed out there's a new movie out under Bocelli's, it's a movie, I think it's on Netflix right now, and it's music of, The Silence of Music. Is that it, or the music? Yeah, I think it's The Silence of Music. And I just saw the trailers. I haven't been able to get it. I told my sister in Michigan, she got it. She went blump, 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 and she got it zip. She watched the movie. She said it was incredible. And it was his life, this great musician, this great artist. And I saw him with his family and his life and his disability and how music just engulfed the whole family, and I saw our family when I was watching that, because my father played guitar, mandolin, my brother the bass, and I mean they were artists. I mean they just didn't play. They were very very good. And I have a sister who plays the violin. I mean there was music everywhere. A sister who sings, and our house was filled with music all the time. And it just
Every time I came over, that I'd go, everybody would play.
and you would sit by Grandpa's elbow as
Yep.
he was playing the mandolin and the guitar, and your eyes would absorb every move he was making with his fingers. And I'm sure, because you're Dylan's father, perhaps, you probably were memorizing those patterns.
I used to watch his fingers,
You did.
and I was obsessed with watching it when he'd play the single notes, and then he'd chord, and he had a, he's such a great player, and it was really a great environment to grow up in. You want to play a little more, Aunt Penny?
No, I'm not. I haven't really. I haven't practiced. How can I do this, Richard?
What do you mean?
No, I'm not reading at all here. So I mean, I do that. I have a friend who happens to sing in a gospel choir, and she was here the other day. She helps me here from time to time, and she was in the other room, and I started playing this, and I hear this voice come through the wall, and I said, "Cece, is that you?" And she came in here, and she started singing "This Summertime." I couldn't believe it. I wish she were here. That's that kind of a thing. And so the house, my house, is always has music going on, and I love it, and it's just very important. It's a very important thing to have in your life, and I know you all are watching and learning from Rick. He has a lot of wonderful. I listen, and I'm learning also. And
You guys see where I get my hair from, right?
my sister's son I love dearly, and I am he's very special to me. I've enjoyed having him with me when he was a little boy, and we've taught each other many things through the years. I think we've experienced. Now I see his wonderful family, and it's wonderful to be able to see your children grow up.
Somebody just said you need to have your own YouTube channel, Aunt Penny.
No,
Aunt Penny, you would have an incredible YouTube channel, actually.
well, I've been around a long time. When you've been around a long time and you see people who are older and they've survived this very complicated life that we've all been given to figure out, what are we to do? We have these children, we have this home, we have this relationship, we have all this stuff. It comes and goes it's like waves, sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's horrible. And that will never change. But how you react to it is what makes the difference. Let's not all get hysterical when the dog won't stop barking, which I just witnessed at Rick's house. I said, well, we all have to take turns barking. We all need to bark. And this happens to be the day your dog is barking. You know, there's something that's bugging him and he's barking. So until we figure out what it is, he's going to bark. And we all need to do that. And I think maybe I'll leave you with that message. Don't be afraid to bark. It's good to bark. It's good for your souls. It's good for it's good. No, really, it is. And then we have to sit back, take a deep breath, drink plenty of water, and not get too upset with the everyday stuff, because the everyday stuff can make you sick if you let it.
That's right.
And go with the tide, ride with the tide, go with the flow, and continue to watch Rick's.
Thanks for the plug.
Because I always
Thanks for the plug, Aunt Penny.
I always like to tell him, I tell you almost everything you know, which isn't true.
That's true. No, it's true.
Well, it's not really true, but I like to do it. I like to say it. But this is wonderful. He came to visit me. He's here for a short time, and he always comes to see me. He always spends time with me, and I love it. I do. He's very special to me. I think I've said that quite a few times.
Well, this is great. So, Aunt Penny, I'm going to teach her how to start her own YouTube channel, and everybody can subscribe and learn a lot of valuable life lessons.
Well, there are a lot of them out there to learn. I'm still, every day I learn one or two more, and we have to keep ourselves up to date with what's going on.
That's right.
And pay attention to what's going on around you all the time.
Yep. Excellent. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.